Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. So we've been having an awful lot of fun this winter playing outside on the new pond, ice skating, playing hockey, taking the ATVs to go riding in the deep snow, plowing out the driveway, all the good stuff that goes along with winter. And we've actually had a number of comments that come in that gave me a good chuckle. One of them was, I think this guy enjoys winter more than anybody I've ever known. And there's some truth to that. I absolutely love winter. I think it might be my favorite season. I don't get cold. I would much rather prefer to be all bundled up outside in the wintertime in 5-degree weather than in the summertime brush hogging in 95-degree heat. So there's definitely some truth to that. I love winter. And not only that, but there's something to be said for making the most of your situation. Even if you're not a huge fan of winter, just taking what you've got and making the best of it. So for us, that's what we're going to do today. It's about 2 degrees outside when most of the country is bundled up indoors. I got a project that's going to get us outside. Let me show you what it is. So with the Winter Olympics coming up, I thought I would try my hand at making some curling stones. Every time the Olympics come around, for whatever reason, the thing that I'm drawn to most is curling. And every time I watch it, I always wonder, where the heck can you even go to play curling or curl or whatever it's called? And up until this point, I haven't really found a way, but I did some research online on how to make some DIY curling stones. And if you're not familiar, curling stones are actually made out of granite. They are polished smooth on all 4 sides, and each stone costs well over $1,000. This little kit that I've got together here costs $75 total, and we're going to try to make 8 stones. Now, they're not going to be regulation or perfectly polished smooth, but I think they'll do the job in getting us out on the ice and giving us the opportunity to try our hand at Olympic sport that most people don't get to try. So I'm going to try to make 8 stones, and I'm going to go ahead and paint 4 of them red and 4 of them blue. But so far what I have in this kit is these party bowls from Dollar General. They're $3 each. And then I got these 90-degree elbows, 1/2 inch. These are what's going to be the handle. These were, let's see, $3.68 a piece. And then 3 60-pound bags of Quikrete. I think these were a little less than $4 a piece. So there's $12. And then 2 cans of spray paint here. Those were $4 each, so $16. Right around $75 for the supplies to make this. Let's go ahead and start putting it together and see how they actually turn out. All right, so we got all of our concrete mixed and poured, and now it is setting in front of the wood stove. It's about 60 degrees in the garage right now. We're gonna go ahead and keep the wood stove running all night. We're gonna go ahead and work on our handles now, but before we do that, I wanted to mention, if you're gonna use your hammer drill to mix concrete, make sure you give it a break in between batches. Right now, if I get out the thermometer, that thing is reading about 152 degrees. So, I mean, it is hot to the touch right there. So you definitely want to make sure you let that thing cool down in between bags of concrete. Anyway, the plan is we're going to go ahead and drill some holes in the end of this and then put a nail or a screw through. That way the concrete has something to bite into. Otherwise, I'd be afraid that this would just pull right out of the concrete. So we're going to give it a little bit of an anchor there. idea how this is gonna go, so we're gonna try out this first one and see what it looks like. Nothing left to do now but let these sit here in front of the wood stove and cure for about a day. In the meantime, let's head down to the pond and see what kind of damage Winter Storm Izzy did to the ice. So I mentioned earlier that today's video is sponsored by Ariat, and we have been partnered with them for about a year now. And with all this wicked cold temperatures that have been rolling through the last few weeks, I thought now would be a perfect time to talk to you about some of the cold weather gear that I have been in love with and have been saving my butt these last few weeks. For starters, I want to mention this DuraCanvas Rebar workwear jacket again. I mentioned it in the last sponsored video we did for Ariat, but I love it that much I thought it was worth mentioning again. It's insulated so you know it's warm, it's durable, it's made of the canvas material, so when I'm out cutting trees out in the bush, I don't have to worry about thorns and jaggers ripping and snagging the material. It's very durable for working outside. Next on the list is something we actually just got, and it is this pair of Ariat work bibs. And you might be wondering, what could be so special about a pair of work bibs? Aren't they all pretty much the same? They just keep you warm? Well, what I really like about these as compared to my old bibs that I had is my old ones, they did a great job at keeping you warm, but when I would put them on, I started to struggle getting my boots and my ice skates and things like that on just because they were jam-packed with so much cotton insulating material that I couldn't bend over and put my shoes on. These ones have a much better range of motion without sacrificing any of that warmth. And to top it off, they're made out of the same durable canvas that this jacket is. If you want to check out Ariat, I'll leave a link down below, good for 10% off your first order. Anyway, back to the video. All right, so here is what happens when you don't get 12 inches of snow off of your hockey pond in the wintertime. Now, this was a combination of things that went wrong. So if you saw in the last video, we did the perfect snow day. And we plowed in the morning, we sled rid in the afternoon, and we went ATV riding in the evening. And so the pond just kind of fell to the wayside, and I didn't get out here within 24 hours to get the snow off of here. And then on top of that, the next day we had 41-degree temperatures. So our 12 inches of snow turned into about 5 inches of slush. Now, the following day I did come out here and try to snow blow this a little bit, but what happened was all of this slush over here was so saturated with water, as soon as I made one pass with the snow blower, all of that water that was baked into that slush just started seeping out, and I was literally in 3 inches of water on top of the ice out here with the snowblower. So I decided to call it quits, and I probably made things worse, but you can see right here, this was that clear water that was on top of the ice. There's probably a new 3 inches of ice here, and then this was all the slush that I didn't clear off. So we've got a lot of work to do. Now, what would probably be easiest is if I had a 2-inch or a 3-inch trash pump, because I could flood this whole thing in a matter of 5-10 minutes. And I was actually looking at going to get one, and I checked out Harbor Freight, checked out Home Depot. There's a couple of trash pumps available, but nobody has the hosing to go with it right now. It just kind of seems to be the last 2 years you can find one thing, but you can't find what goes with it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna be stuck with my little utility pump that pumps, I think, like 8 gallons a minute or something. So we're gonna be slow going out here to flood this ice, fill in all my footprints here from when I was snow blowing, fill in the track from the snow blower, and on top of that, just leveling out the roughness of this slush that refroze here. It's not anywhere close to being ready to ice skate. It needs to be flooded. I actually need to come out here with a chainsaw and cut off some of these big chunks that are sticking up here. I think we might get started with that. There we go. So now that the pond's taken care of, let's go ahead and check in on the curling stones and see how they're curing. All right, so they look like they're fully cured. I let these go about 2 days just because I think my mixture was a little bit wet. I don't mix concrete very often, so I've got no idea what I'm doing. I just threw water and concrete mix in a bucket and hope for the best. Let's see how these things, oh, they just come right out. Well, these actually look pretty good. I think the wetter concrete mix actually did me some good because these are really nice and smooth. I think if I had gone with a really dry mix, you would have had some of those rocks and things that are in there poking out on the sides here, but this looks really good. I was going for a smooth finish so that these slide really nice on the ice. Let's go ahead and pop the rest of these out, see if they all come out as easy. Yep. That worked better than I could have expected. I thought I was going to have a fight getting those back out of there. As you can see, I still have a little bit of finish work I want to do on these because this edge right here is very thin, and that's what's going to be bumping these stones when they go to bump into each other. And that right there is just going to crack right off and potentially ruin the whole thing. So I want to take a cement grinder and see if I can grind that and round that to blunt that edge a little bit so it's not so susceptible to cracking.